Well, hello, my whatnotters. I am late. Show's not supposed to start till 7:30. Hey, Blah Blonde, how are you? I'm so late. I had a bunch of stuff come up, and I did not have a chance to get on here at 7 because usually my time's at 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. at night. I'm doing okay. Just had a really busy day. Welcome in, Kay's Crafts. Love our crafty people. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to pull up my live. I have a slow laptop. It needs replaced. I'm trying to get my live loaded over here on YouTube. I need to put my live up for Facebook too. Hey, Lord Jupiter. If anybody's ever looking for any types of books, please feel free to let me know. I do take notes. HG! How are you, lovely lady? I'm telling you what, she has some great bags, people. If you can get in to see HG at night and you're looking for really beautiful totes and purses, she has some great ones. Follow each other. Follow each other. If you're resellers, go ahead and put your yellow hearts in the chat. Please do. I got the most beautiful Michael Kors tote off of her, and I swear, I looked at a couple Neverfulls, but I'm telling you, that MK bag is really nice. It's a good competition. And it's got a zipper. Like it's not even open. Hey, Bud Files, welcome in. I'm glad you got to pop in on my YouTube. Hold on a second. I can't find the send button here. Oh, there it is. This, I tell you, this laptop takes forever to scroll. I love my YouTube people too. They've been with me for a long time, since 2017. Um, So right now I'm just getting ready to run romance books, but I'll chat with you guys. I can't pull my cam down to turn it around because I'm afraid I won't get it back up because it's being held by a piece of paper. I'll show you what it looks like. This is why I have a hard time, because it looks like a Brett, and the Logitech cam wouldn't fit in it right. So Tammy had to MacGyver eyes. I love MacGyver. See how I have that piece of paper? And it's rolled up and it's in where the Logitech folds. That's the arm that I have my cam hanging from to point down. So if I take it down, I can't get it back up again because it falls. But hopefully one of these days on my YouTube channel, if you go back a ways, you can see me doing makeup looks. So you can see what my face looks like. But I'm here about the product, not me. So, but I know a lot of people like a visual because they like to see the person they're buying from. And I get it, because of the trust. I can't right now. I like this because it keeps everything stationary and I don't get seasick, because that happens to me sometimes. Like I love going to the estate sales and stuff, but I get seasick watching the camera move. Hey, Granny's Vintage. So what I do is I just basically show you the condition of the books. I have a whole store full, and if there's anything you're particularly looking for, I could try to find it, because I'm unboxing boxes, and as I unbox them, you see what I get. So my poor and fair condition books are not books that are falling apart. They might have a little nick out of them, or they might have a discoloration, so that when you look at my grading, you'll know what it means. Or if they have a lot of, I hate to grade books, to be honest, because I like everything. And, sometimes books from the 1800s are falling apart. We don't complain about those ones. At least I don't. But these here are kind of fairish, but I have all the grades. But just so you know, there's no ripped pages or no pages missing. You will always get your story. I make sure of that because I own a licensed used bookstore offline, so I make sure people get what they're looking for. The story, that is. Okay, so this one here is Love Upon the Wind by Sally Stewart. It's just a Harlequin romance. It says, politics make strange bedfellows. To win a seat in the British Parliament, flamboyant lawyer Nicholas Redford needed a strong air of respectability. And what that means is a wife. So he offered the position to his secretary, Jenny Bartlett, for Jenny is still recovering from her last romantic involvement. The business-like arrangement seemed ideal. She would have a home, a garden, and a life of her own. But neither of them counted on was a tangle of feelings that had no place in the marriage of convenience. And I do have some kind of poshy items. I do have a Michael Kors small medium. You know, you can, on the show notes, it tells you how to look them up. And I have a Tiffany necklace that doesn't have a number. She should be on the shop page for sale. So that's like my two highest items. Welcome in, Danielle, or Diane, I mean. Oh my goodness, my eyes. I got bad eyesight. So how are you ladies doing tonight? Well, that's good. That's me too, pretty much. I had to rush because I had to take my dog out. She's getting up in age. So yeah, her potty time is not on schedule, if you know what I mean. That's why I was late. So this is Hot Shot by Susan Elizabeth Phillips. This one in here, I put it in kind of fair condition. It is a 1991 because it's got the darkness in it. I don't know if it's from age or a smoker. I can't speak where these books come from. But that's pretty much my fair looking books. Susanna flees her society wedding on the back of a bad boy's Harley and enters a world for which no etiquette book could ever prepare her. A world with men such as Mitch Blaine, a corporate genius who has no time for rich socialite, and Sam Gamble, a charismatic visionary. You also meet Yankowski, one of those fabulous nerds I love writing about. The three men will force Susanna to test both her courage and the power of her love in the biggest challenge of her life. Come along, take this journey with me. Love, and it's got the author. That's kind of cute. That's done differently. It's like a letter. And if anybody wants to mod, just let me know. Because sometimes I'm not paying attention to the screen when I'm reading. I do try, though. Hey, Autumn. How are you? Welcome to my YouTube. Sorry I'm not over here. I'm on Whatnot. But welcome, welcome. Okay, the next one we have. This one is called Holiday Inn. This is actually 4 books in one. And sometimes you don't get enough space. It's got that discoloration. And this is from 1996 copyright. And the 4 stories in this, there is, I don't know why, Love's Light by Linda Jones, The Christmas Pearls by Linda Maddle, Rachel's Hero by Deborah Dyer, and Home for Christmas by Ruth Ryan Langan. And it says on the back, 1781, when Alexander Stark left his family's inn to join the war for American independence, little did he expect to return to the bleak reality of blindness. He was doomed to embittered darkness unless the beautiful Medora's bittersweet caress could illuminate his world with love's sight. In 1815, when dashing privateer Ellie Whittaker Turned businessman, he thought the Freedom Inn would be the perfect place to transact his marriage of convenience. But the fiery Sarah Lakefield was determined to fan his pirate passion into the union of a lifetime before she could accept his marriage gift of the Christmas pearls. In 1889, excuse me, forcing one sister into a loveless marriage was less than Rachel Stark's reality of chivalry, and yet the viral T.S. Buchamp was doing precisely that. The entrepreneur was certainly handsome, but he was valiant enough to prove that not he could be not only a breathtaking lover, but also live up to Rachel's hero. 1996, when successful novelist Adam Holt returned to the inn owned by his childhood sweetheart, Carolyn Stark, he knew that this time he would have to capture her heart forever. For without the feisty beauty, his heart would never be truly home for Christmas. And that's the 4 books in one. I don't know what it is with this laptop over here. It's like it needs hey, Autumn Webster. It's like it needs a battery backup or something. I'm going to have to open up the battery part and check it because as soon as I unplug it, it dies like instantly. It's really weird. And I already bought a new power cord for it. So, you know how tech stuff is. Hey, Cole Q10. That's a cute picture. Is it actually a face of an ostrich? That's what it looks like from here. And the next books I have are My Babies and Me by Tara Taylor Quinn. This is a Harlequin super romance. It's in good condition from 1999. And this said Susan Kennedy is going to have a baby by the time she turns 40, which is in the year 2000. It's something she wanted and planned for the past decade. Now she's got everything she needs to go ahead: a nice home, a successful career, a loving family, everything except a husband. She used to have a husband, Michael Kennedy, and that's the man she wants for her baby's father. She only needs Michael's biological contribution, though. But then when Susan's pregnant, she discovers 2 unexpected complications. She loves Michael more than ever and wants him to be her husband again and a father to his child. And there isn't going to be 1 baby, but 2. She's having twins. Oh boy. I'll never forget when my daughter went to the doctors and they said, "Should we tell her?" And she's like, should you tell me what? She's like freaking out. And they said 2 heartbeats, not 1. And she had 2 fraternal twin daughters. What a shocker that would be. Plan for 1 baby and have 2. So the next book we have is, I like the cover of this book. I thought it was cute. It's colorful. It's called Codeine Baby by Christina Sky. It's in really good condition. It's from 2005. By tracking down 4 genetically enhanced service dogs and guarding their furry backs 24/7 is going to take all of Wolf's tactical skills. The dog's unsuspecting trainer, Kit Halloran, doesn't know that deadly mercenaries are determined to kidnap her charges. With hostiles to invade and bullets to dodge, there's no time to waste, so why is Kit pressed against an adobe wall by moonlight, reveling in the hot magic of Wolf's slow, skillful hands? Wolf is fascinated by Kit's devotion to her puppies, especially Baby, the incorrigible runt of the litter. But 2 other trainers have died under strange circumstances, and a foreign government has just posted a staggering bounty for Kit's capture. Before Wolf can explore their white-hot attraction, The two are on the run, forced to decide which of their secret contacts is a friend and which is a deadliest foe. Only Baby could lead them through the storm to safe haven in each other's arms. And it says, good dog. So that sounds like actually a cute book. It's adorable. Hey, Sephora Princess. That's too cute. I've had VIP once at Sephora. It was fun getting a makeover. They're really good at matching your foundation, too. I actually had my foundation matched somewhere else, and then I went there and they matched the same one, so they did a good job. Hey, Sarah Toshi. Welcome, welcome. You can check out the auction. I just go in order until there's requests. And then I have a whole ton in my buy now. So this one here is a Harlequin intrigue. It's called Same Place, Same Time by C.J. Carmichael. It's in good shape. And it is a 1999. It says Detective Morgan Forrester's resolve was as steely as his gun and the badge he wore with pride, and he belonged to Trista Emerson until a tragedy drove them apart. Now, two of Trista's clients were dead, and Morgan was back, sexier than ever, and convinced Trisha might be the killer's next victim. Forced with Morgan's 24-hour brand of protection, Trista had to admit the truth. She still loved him. This time she vowed to reach the man behind the badge and show him she was and always would be his woman. And this is the Harlequin intrigue type where it's like a whodunit with a romance. Hey, Abby. There's certain people that always collect certain books too, which I think is really cool. If you have a favorite author, let me know on either platform. Mine was always Anne Rule. I loved her true crime books. Now her daughter Leslie Rule writes books. She writes paranormal, and I bought her first crime book. I can't wait to read it. I have it upstairs. So the next book I have, this one is called One of the Family by Kristen Rolifson. It's a Harlequin Temptation. It's got a couple written spots in it. It's from 1987. It's in pretty good shape though. He was a first class male. Allie Leonard had stopped by the Hope, Idaho post office expecting to collect a few letters. Then her roughhousing kids ran her pickup over a custom-made bicycle belonging to one very angry Michael Rhodes. Allie ended up with an imposing large man on her hands, and in his tent in her backyard, Michael was determined to camp out until his Oregon sporting goods store shipped him a new bike. But in spite of Allie's growing claustrophobia, he soon inveigled his way into her home and into her heart. To make him stay, all she had to do was destroy every two-wheeler entering Idaho. That's crazy. Some of these are so cute what they rate. Well, hello, Harry. Welcome in. Hey, Abby. Welcome, welcome. I hope you guys are all having a good day. If you're looking for anything, let me know. I have stuff in my show notes to show you how to find certain things. In my next book, this is another interesting one. I like when they have more than one story in one, too. I think those are fun. This one here is 3 love stories in one. You have The Persistent Suitor, The Hopeless Love, and More Than a Woman Could Want. It's definitely in kind of fairish condition. Or I don't know if I put this under fair or poor because it's awful got like darkness to it. So I probably put this one under poor condition, but all the pages are there. Everything's good. Just sometimes discoloration and stuff happens. The Persistent Suitor is the first one by Peggy Gladys. They were an unlikely match. Mary Sue Bentley, a small town school teacher, and Dan Gregory, an ambitious New York bachelor playboy. Their romance began on an isolated Florida cay, but the true test was yet to come. Would it turn out to be just a vacation flirtation, or was it really love? Number 2 is Hopeless Love by Ethel Lockwood. The problems created by her younger sister Helen forced Joyce Loring to pick up stakes and leave her hometown. Joyce was torn between her devotion to Helen and her love for Hal Black, but Hal saw Joyce as nothing more than an efficient secretary. Would the separation help Joyce forget Hal or make her need him even more? And then the third book is More Than a Woman Could Want by Joan Garrison. Vera Mason had achieved her lifelong dream as a writer under the guiding hand and driving nerve of her agent, Abe Keene. But when Vera could not succeed in making Abe fall in love with her, she left New York to write for a Texas chain of newspapers. But was Abe really out of her heart and out of her head? So that's the 3 stories in one book. Hey, Nine Dimes. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I forgot to tag you up yet. I'll wait till I get to certain books to do it, though. Because I'm not there yet. Because I know which ones he's going to want to look at. Hey, Neapolitan Novels. What's his ID? Okay. I gotta tag somebody in here real quick. See if they're on. Okay. So the next book we have. Oh, come on. Just dropped my pen. I'm having a dropsy day. There it is. Put my book over here so it doesn't fall again in case I need to take notes. Okay, the next book is called Heaven Sent by Erica Spindler. I like the cover of this book. It's cute. It's a little poor because it's got some spots and it's got a little writing in it. It's a 1988. And like I said, I'm a used bookstore, not new, so you're going to get some with flaws. She wanted it all. He just wanted her. Jessica Mann disliked Clay Adams on sight. He was undisciplined, unpredictable, and had no sense of self-control. Unbelievably, he also happened to be the hottest creative force in advertising, and he was temporarily her partner. Her own career had reached a critical point, and she really didn't want this man's advice. But Clay saw where Jess was headed and been there himself 3 years before. He couldn't stand by and watch the woman he was falling in love with trade her soul for a blind ambition. So there is Heaven Sent. Hey, CKG Nurse. I hope you're all having a good day. The next book we have and the last one in this set of romance before we move to another topic is Dark Side of Love by Peggy Becco. This is what the binding looks like. Definitely a lightly used book from 1983. He had a dangerous hold on her. In claiming her inheritance, a sprawling ranch in a remote part of Mexico, Sienna knew she'd accepted a challenge, but she was unprepared for the antagonism of the dark, aristocratic Raymond Savedell, the man appointed to advise her. Raymond, his glittering eyes entranced her, his brooding presence disturbed her, enthralled her, his harsh insinuations wounded her deeply. Though Serena swore to resist him, she needed his guidance to run the ranch, she needed his love. It was a cruel trick fate had played on her to find her lifelong dreams so entwined with the threat of heartbreak. So that is this one. Hey, Master Nate. Are you a comic person? Just thinking by the picture you have on your profile. Hey, Sudmore. Welcome, welcome. Geez, Wednesday night is a busy night for a lot of sellers, isn't it? So we're going to put these over here. So the first set of romances, if anybody wants any, let me know and I can re-show them. Now we are going into action and suspense, which is one of my favorite categories. Okay. The first one we have is Dean Koontz, False Memory. This is what the book looks like. Some of the bindings got a little bit of aging spots. And then this is the inside of the book. It's got a little bit of spots in it. It's from the year 2000. It says, on the heels of his critically acclaimed, well, we'll just go down here. Marty Rhodes is a young wife and a successful video game designer. Then one morning she experiences a sudden and inexplicable fear, a fleeting but disquieting terror of her own shadow. Later she realizes she's terrified to look in the mirror and confront the reflection of her own face. As these traumatic episodes build, the lives of Marty and her husband Dustin change drastically. Desperate to discover the reasons for his wife's sudden descent into mental chaos, Dusty takes Marty to the renowned therapist who has been treating her best friend and begins a frantic search for clues. As he comes closer to the shocking truth, Dusty finds himself afflicted with a condition even more fearsome than Marty's. No fan of Dean Koontz or classic psychological suspense will want to miss this extraordinary novel of the human mind's capacity to torment and destroy itself. Spooky. These are like great for Halloween. So there is a Koontz. I liked his book Intensity. His Intensity book was good, really good. Welcome in, Boy Blue. The next book we have is where did you come from? You're not supposed to be over here. Okay. This is Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Gateways, Book 4 of 7. Demons of Air and Darkness, Keith R.A. D. Candido. It's got some spots on it. It's definitely old and well read. It's got a little white spot. It looks like white out. And then this is a 2001. It says, once they move from world to world in a single step, through innumerable doors that span the galaxy, they were masters of space, and to those who feared them, they were demons of air and darkness. But long ago, they left their empire and their miraculous technology behind. Now someone has found a key to it, and all those doors have flung open. Gateways, demons of air and darkness, a world of Deep Space Nine threatened with destruction from the distant Delta Quadrant, becomes focus of a massive rescue effort as Colonel Kira Neres, her crew, and some expected allies fight to avert disaster on a planetary scale. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Nog and Essing Derishar Sheathane search for a way to shut down the spatial portholes forever. Quark becomes involved in a dangerous game that could determine once and for all who will control the gateways. So I guess this is book 4 of 7. So far, I only found this one. And I'm sure some of these are probably going to be sci-fi, but I put them all under action and suspense because it's just easier for me to keep track of less categories. Hey, Heart of the South Crafting. That's a nice name. I like the ideas people come up with on here. It's interesting. Next book we have is called Dark of the Moon by John Sanford. This is from 2008. It's in good condition. 3 murders in a rural Minnesota town plunge Virgil Flowers, an investigator for the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, into the middle of a killer's violent personal vendetta. Oh my gosh. One that's only begun to take its toll. So this is what that book's about. I like sometimes how they limit. Don't give you too many details. It kind of leaves it more of a mystery. Hey, Obo Collectibles. Hey, Dava. Welcome, welcome. Next book we have is No Place Like Home by Mary Higgins Clark. She's actually a really good writer, too. It's got some darkness to it. So I probably put this under fair. This is a 2005. 10-year-old Lisa Barton shoots her mother while trying to protect her from her violent husband. Lisa's stepfather, while his death is ruled accidental, the tabloids still compared Lisa to the child murderess Lizzie Borden. Lizzie's adoptive parents change her name to Celia and try to erase all traces of her past. Widowed after a brief marriage in which she had a son, Jack, she remarries a young lawyer. Celia is happy until, on her birthday, she presents her with a gift, the house where she killed her mother. On moving in, they find the words, "Little Lizzie's Place, Beware," painted in red letters on the lawn. When the real estate agent who sold the house to her husband is murdered, she becomes a suspect. As she struggles to prove her innocence, Celia and her little son are being stalked by the killer. So there is a Mary Higgins Clark book. Well, hello, Michael. I like your name. That's cute how you got the symbols. Hey, Brandon. How are you? Why did they just make you all disappear? That was weird. This laptop, I'm telling you, it is so slow. Sorry, I lost the chat, guys. Give me a second. I gotta reload it. Hey, Salem. Okay, the next book I have after this one. Let me see here. Well, thank you. I think so too. I've read a few of her books. This one here is called Pandemonium. Now, this book is interesting by Warren Fahey. I have not read this. I was tempted to keep it. It's a really good condition. And it's from 2013. It's the way it was written that I find fascinating. And then look at the end. It's got like all these bugs. But it's a good story. Listen, it says deep within the Ural Mountains and an underground city carved out by slave labor during the darkest hours of the Cold War, ancient caverns hold exotic and dangerous life forms that have evolved in isolation for countless millennia. Cut off from the surface world, an entire ecosystem of bizarre subterranean species have survived undetected until now. Biologists now and Geoff, Geoffrey Binswanger barely survived a previous encounter with terrifying invasive creatures that threatened to engulf the earth. They think the danger is over until a ruthless Russian tycoon lures them into his underground metropolis, where they find themselves confronted by vicious menagerie of biological horrors rising from the bowels of the earth. So somebody's in the like a science type of this would be good. These creatures now threaten to conquer the world, and if any reach the surface, they will succeed. It sounds creepy. But I like how it's written though. Like it's just different. Like the chapters are almost like they're short. You know, it's almost like what do you call it? Like a log. I don't know. I like this style of book. It's really cute. Hey Jason. Hey Lanolim. I thought it was different when I was looking at it, and I thought, well, this would be cool to put in here. Okay. If anybody's looking for anything specific, let me know. If you like specific authors, let me know that too. I can always try to look for things, old and new. I'm unboxing books, and as I go along and clean them, they end up on here. Hey, Shelly girl. Frugal Shelly. I like frugal. Good. Thank goodness I could read your text, Brandon. I was trying to type to you in this thing, but it didn't work. I try to be the book master, Brandon. Hey, Jen. Welcome in. So the next book I have is William Johnson's popular for rating like series, but he does have standalone books, and this is one of them. It's called Breakdown, and he does westerns and some action suspenses. It's got a little bit of dottage, a little bit of darkness to it on the edge of pages, age. And I put standalone books so people know it's not part of a series. This is from 1979 called Breakdown. A man and a woman speed north in a night torn by gunfire, etched in blood. Their caravan has fled a city in flames. Its bridges blown apart, its streets filled with death. He fought in Vietnam, but hasn't used a gun in 25 years. She is trained in the sophisticated art of military intelligence. They both know that the Second American Revolution has begun, and the fight for her survival, is about to become a war of its own. From one of our nation's most acclaimed authors comes a terrifying vision of apocalyptic America. A chilling reel as tomorrow's headlines. Breakdown is what happens when justice no longer prevails and freedom comes under siege. It is a story only best-selling author William W. Johnstone could write. A spellbinding novel of unrelenting suspense that dares to tell the truth about our future, a future which is already here. It says, watch your back. It's got a cute picture of him and his doggy. So that is this book. And I get to read the chat. I miss gabbing with you all. Thanks, Brandon. And I miss crafting too. One of these days I'll get back to it. Slowly but surely. But I do want to make an announcement that after tonight I'm taking a little break because I have some things I got to take care of offline. And then once I get some of these things caught up, then I'll be back reselling books live. But I will try, if I can, to post some in the live store in the marketplace if people want to shop from me that way. So you know not to expect me if I'm not here. Don't worry. It's just sometimes we got to take a break and do stuff. And the holidays are right around the corner, and I have a lot of stuff I need to take care of. So it might be just the month of October I might be gone. We'll see. But I need to take a break, and sometimes that happens. But if I can fit the time in, I will come back. It just all depends on how everything goes. The next book I have is called The Pirate Hunters by Mac Maloney. This is in really good condition. It's from 2010. It says the pirate brandished an AK-47 and his band of desperate thieves and cutthroats was ready to take down a cargo ship that contained a fortune in expensive cars. 100 fortunes in heroin and black market weapons. Turk Kurgan has done, this before, terrorizing the Somali coast, ransoming the crews and contents of ships for millions of dollars. But now they have to contend with Team Whiskey, a hard-bitten cadre of ex-Delta Force vets whose leader, Phil Snake Nolan, has given a dishonorable discharge for pursuing Osama bin Laden at Tora Bora. They might not be U.S. warfighters anymore, but Team Whiskey still care about freedom and protecting the innocent, and they've got the know-how and the weapons to fight these pirate scum. Team Whiskey have the pirates in their sights, and their foes, fueled by greed and revenge, are hell-bent on their own deadly mission. Whiskey are all in for a hell of a fight on the high seas. So there is this book. Lots of action and suspense. Hey, Noah. Hey, chairs. Chairs. You love chairs. I love chairs too, especially squishy ones. Hey, Sir Kenneth. Welcome, welcome. I didn't even share out my own stream, Brandon. No, she's no longer, she's no longer around me. Okay. Sometimes people pass into your life for a reason and a season, Brandon, and sometimes they just move on. And that happens sometimes. Um, Nightland by Lewis Owens. It's got like a dark look to it, a little bit of aging. And there was a little piece up here, I think, that was ripped and taped. This is a 1996. So this will probably be posted under poor, but it was taped. A man falls from the sky over New Mexico's wilds. Will Stryker and Billy Keene, two lifelong friends who share half Cherokee blood, see him come down. Near the corpse, they find another object from the sky as well, a suitcase containing nearly $1 million. If you keep the money, it can turn their den-end lives around. Thus begins a thriller set in a dry as dust New Mexico landscape where human grit is more plentiful than water, but for Will and Billy, their odds of success are altered by offers of help from one ancient grandfather, one ex wife, one beautiful lover, and a trail of blood left by the men who lost the money and won it back. So there is Nightland. Well, hey, Bobby. Hello, hello. Alrighty. Take your time. Take your time. But thanks for coming into the stream. I appreciate you all. I appreciate everybody that takes the time to listen to me read and listen to my books and show my books on Whatnot and YouTube. Here is Vietnam Ground Zero, The Ironman Triangle by Eric Helm. It's even got advertisements in it, which is really cute. You get 4 free books and a pocket knife. It's vicious. And inside it says, terrorists, anarchists, hijackers, and drug dealers, beware, because you get this pocket knife. That's how old this is. This was from 1988. That's too funny. Okay, I like the ads in books. I think they're cute. A company of American soldiers is overrun and slaughtered by Viet Cong U.S. Army Special Forces. Captain Matt Gerber is assigned to CID to head the investigation into the massacre. Evidence clearly reveals that the men had been taken completely unawares and under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Rumors are rife that drugs use among GIs is increasingly an alarming rate and is becoming a command issue. MACV Brass is aware that Saigon prostitutes are distributing Thai sticks, opium, and heroin, part of the VC plan to undermine the U.S. war effort. As the consummate soldier, Gerber feels that pursuit of pushers in Saigon is more dangerous than field combat, and if he is caught, CID will disclaim any knowledge of the mission. So you have a war story. Hey, Andy, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. It's hump day. It's Wednesday. My favorite day of the week. I love Wednesdays. So the last one in this first set of romance, oh my goodness, suspense books is Without Remorse by Tom Clancy. I like Tom Clancy. His books are thick. He writes good stories. And this is from 1994. Without Remorse is the epic bestseller Tom Clancy fans have been waiting for. Its hero is a man very familiar to Clancy's readers. His codename is Mr. Clark, and his work for the CIA is brilliant, cold-blooded, and efficient. But who is he really? In a harrowing tour de force, Tom Clancy shows how ordinary man named John Kelly crossed the lines of justice and morality to become the CIA legend Mr. Clark. It is an unforgettable table journey into the heart of darkness without mercy, without guilt, without remorse. And there you go. A nice, thick Tom Clancy book to sit back and read on a rainy day. I like reading on rainy days. Well, welcome back. Yes, I like Clancy. Isn't he based on some games too? Like, did the gamers play? Hey, Casey. Welcome, welcome. So we have went through the first set of romance. We have went through the first set of action and suspense. So now we are going into biblical, even though it's under romance, but I titled it biblical, and now I've got them all under biblical because of that reason. Okay, so we will put these aside. If anybody's interested in any of the books I just showed, just feel free to let me know. I only go in order until somebody makes a request for what's in the auction. Okay, so this one here is called More Sparrows, How God Supplies Our Human Needs by Mary Welsh. And it is a good book. It's older. It is from 1955. And it contains, it didn't have a synopsis, so it's an antidote to worry, peace of mind game, the secret of receiving, plus and minus God, from poverty to plenty, your inner resources, the game of Thanksgiving, God's creative dynamos, the golden initiative and faith, but what if? Question. And it's all that goodness, if somebody is interested. Well, hello, Tariq, and I am Brooklyn. I wish Brooklyn was still in here. People come and go really fast over here. I do have movies, but they're not up yet. If you only seen the movies I had, and a lot of VHS tapes. I actually have a dual player of VHS and DVDs. I have tons of movies, like tons. I haven't got to that part yet, and music. Okay, this book I have posted already, but I have a second one because the condition on this one is it's a little better than the first one. This is called Here's Hope, Jesus Cares for You. It's a New Testament King James version, and it is from 1982. Remember that time when you were without Christ, having no hope and without God, but now question. Ephesians 2:12 through 13. So here is a cute little book, biblical book. So we are going to run it. Oh, I love Old Yeller. That was so sad, though. Yes, tell me about it, Brandon. Hey, JIMP. Hey, the Beard Man. Did you have your beer today? Cheers. Yeah, lots of prayers, Brandon. The next book we have, this one here is called The World Translation in the whole of the Holy Scriptures. And it is another, it's just a Bible too. It says rendered from the original languages by the New World Bible Translation Committee. And this is from 1961 by the Watchtower and Tract Society. And it does have a little bit of spots on this part of it, but the binding and everything is so good. So there is that book. Hey, John. Mrs. Crabtree. I don't know if Mrs. Crabtree's still in here, but I think that's so funny. There actually was a Mrs. Crabtree in middle school here. That's so funny. Sometimes people come into lives that don't even have their sound on, which to me that doesn't make any sense, but whatever. I used to hate when people did that in chat. It's like, why are you coming into a voice chat with no ears on? Okay, this book looks really interesting. I even started to read this a little bit, Brandon. Studying Sin Seriously. A Sound Doctrine for Everyday Living series by Wendell Winkler. And this is from 1976. It's really interesting. They got a lot of good questions in here, and some of it's been answered by whoever previously owned it. But they have some really good stuff in here where you fill in the blanks and you have true and false. It's kind of like follow along study guide with the Bible. A lot of people like the study guides, but I thought this one was funny. And what it covers in here is the origin of sin, what is sin, kinds of sin, what sin will do to you, one, what sin will do to you, number two, improper attitudes towards sin, proper attitudes towards sin, helps in overcoming sin, the beauty of the forgiveness of sin, sins against ourselves and against our brethren, sins against the home, sins the Lord will not forgive, hell, the eternal consequence of sin. I think I'd be scared after reading that book. But I found it interesting because if anybody's interested, you could always do it on your own piece of paper. You did? You taught elementary? Interesting. Hey, Magdalena. Hey, Tonoi. That is very interesting. Yeah, I didn't have Mrs. Crabtree as my teacher, but my kids did. Brandon. How are you doing? It's good. It's going good. Here's a book of sin. You want to read it? I'm sorry, but this book is hysterical. You should have seen me sitting here flipping through this thing the other night. Brandon's over on my YouTube, and it's like, I'm like, wow, am I in here? What did I do so bad? Brandon. Oh, I bet. There's a whole bunch of people getting ready. My father-in-law lives down that way too in Pensacola. So I know the surges. We've been watching it on the news here. Like, I don't watch the local station. We watch the Weather Channel. But we've been trying to keep up with stuff too. I didn't even know there was one coming in until the other day. I never watch news that much anymore because it's so dramatic. Hey, KJ. Gives me anxiety. But we do try to keep up with the weather. So the next book here is this one doesn't have a jacket. It's called The Celebration in the Bedroom. And this is a biblical book, even though that's the title. And it's really interesting because it talks about things to do with couples. It's 1979. It's by Charlie Sheed and Martha Sheed. So I'm assuming that's a married couple that wrote this together. I didn't read this book, but it covers, it says, like, to give you kind of an idea, Lord, help us think of sex as you first thought of it, a gift to celebrate and excellent in every way. And then down here it says, we commit to you our thoughts, our eyes, our urges, and we pledge ourselves to your absolute fidelity. So it's just kind of like guides people if they need that guidance. Maybe some people who were raised in foster care, maybe they didn't have parents to teach them stuff. Some of these books are really good to read. So I thought this was interesting. And it gives you certain, like, it says, which words best describe your attitude towards sex? And then you check them and then you read about it. And it's just interesting. At least I think so. I love all kinds of books though. I'm a bookaholic. Brandon. You know what? I had bookmarks, shows growth and self control all the time. I would get check marks because I couldn't keep my mouth shut even when I was a kid. I was the one that passed notes and got busted and whispered to the person next to me. I was always in trouble. But when you look back in the past, there's people that's been really abused for certain things. Like they had, true story. If you wrote with your left hand, you got your hand practically beat off with a ruler to change to a right hander. I think that's horrible when I hear these stories. And then somebody shared a story on her live the other day. She's HDD, and of course, it's something that's kind of new. So there's a lot of things back in the day that they didn't have diagnoses for. And she actually got her hair stapled by her teacher every time she opened her mouth. What kind of a teacher does that shit to kids? Why would you staple somebody's hair? Some of these people just kill me, the things that they used to do to torture kids. And then they wondered why we talked too much. I mean, seriously. I used to get check marks, but I was okay with that. I like talking. I'm a people person. What can I say? But I can't believe I do. I can't believe some of the abuses I hear happened. The Power of Positive Thinking. Now, this could just be a regular book, too. It's got some old tape in it. If a person likes this book, they can actually probably scrape it off or leave it there for character. This is from 1969 by Norman Vincent Peate, Peate. I put this under biblical because even though it could be just an educational book too, but I liked it under biblical because it doesn't have a lot of quotes in it, like stuff from the Bible. And it says, believe in yourself. And it has guideposts mentioned in this. I love guideposts. I think reading guideposts is awesome. A peaceful mind generates power. How to have constant energy. Try prayer power. How to create your own happiness. Stop fuming and fretting. Expect the best and get it. I don't believe in defeat. How to break the worry habit. Power to solve personal problems. How to use faith in healing. When vitality sags, try this health formula. Inflow of new thoughts can remake you. Relax for easy power. How to get people to like you. Prescription for heartache. How to Draw Upon the Higher Power epilogue. And I like that. So to me, this is a biblical book. And even though it doesn't have a jacket, it's got good stuff in it. Good tips. Hey, Callie Bud. Let me see here. Aw, that's sad, Brandon. Oh my goodness. That's terrible. Hey, JK Treasures. That's awful. Pretty corn. I had to stand in the corner before. We actually had dunce caps. They had dunce caps that they put on your head sometimes when you were in trouble. And you had to sit in the corner with a dunce cap like a party act. Some of these teachers did crazy stuff, and I was actually paddled in kindergarten and first grade. Pretty, you get to hear my fun stuff. And Brian is listening to me over here on YouTube. I was always in trouble. I told him about before you came in here that okay. One more gab to you for a second. So in school I used to get check marks for shows growth and self control because I couldn't shut my mouth. I was always passing notes and getting in trouble, whispering to the person next to me. But I was listening to a girl on Whatnot talking. I'm not going to say names because it's her story to tell. But she said she had ADD. They didn't know it because she wasn't diagnosed with it yet. Every time she talked, the teacher would staple her hair. I was like, what the hell kind of teacher is this? That's so abusive. And how they used to, when you were left-handed, they would smack your hand off, especially in Catholic schools and stuff. They would literally beat your hands off. That's what I'm beginning to wonder if she went to Catholic school. But I know in one of the countries, this is what I was told in one of the countries. You're not allowed to eat with the same hand you wipe your ass with. So apparently, over in one of the countries, they wipe their butt with their left and eat with their right. Well, what if you're right-handed and decided to wipe your ass? I mean, what does it matter? And they would literally beat a person for using their left hand. Like, what the hell? You wash your hands. Did you people believe in soap? But seriously, I shake my head at these explanations for stuff. These people are crazy. I think they just look for ways to abuse people. I have a story that I want you to watch. I'm going to get a link and I want to share it. I'm going to put it to you, Prinny, and your messenger real quick. I listened to this story and I was just blown away. I was like, what? This is all true and researched. This is one of the ladies that I actually mod for on YouTube. Just give me a second to get it to you guys. I was just blown away by this. I sat and listened to this the other night before I went to bed. And it just, wow. I mean, wow. Let me get to you, Brandon. Hold on. I want to put it in chat for you. If you get the chance to watch this, and if you get creeped out by true crime, you might not want to. But this was really good. I was just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Good story. Good story. I love Ty. She does the best research on stories I have ever seen. Like, she really deep dives and talks about the truth of stuff. She did a wonderful series on Titanic and things that people don't talk about the Titanic, like how many dogs were aboard the ship that drowned. She covers everything. And it's really sad. I can't imagine leaving my pet to drown. My God, I would die before I would leave my dog to drown. But how some of the people survived and some of the lives behind the movie Titanic and the quotes that happened during the movie, she talks about that. And it's her series on the Titanic is so good and it's very thorough. And it was amazing. It's amazing. I love listening to her stories. I'll be like doing laundry and listening to her do her stories. But I've been following Ty since she was like at 1,000 subscribers, and she has really grown her channel. She's like past 100,000 already because she's really good at it. I told her she should be a storyteller or a news person. She's got that voice and that persona. I really like her. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. Besides Brandon, because Brandon, he's so nice. Okay, so the next one we have, this is like a community of love by John Main. I actually read one of the chapters of this. It's almost like a new book, and it's in good condition for $19.99. No discoloration or anything. But the chapter I read is The Death, the Inner Journey. It was really good. So I think this whole book would be really good. And it says, John Main's deepest vision of life was that of community of love. In this community, we experience wholeness in our lives with others and with the society in which we live. For him, the practice of meditation reveals a center which unifies all the many dimensions of our personal and communal experience. The book brings together Father Main's insights into a range of issues: the hunger for prayer, the community of love, monastic prayer today, the monastic adventure, the spiritual relevance of Mary, the inner journey of death. John Main's approach to modern dilemmas combine authority with respect for individual freedom, making him a trustworthy spiritual guide. I didn't read the whole book, but I read parts. Hey, BJ Mass. Hey there, the Bookaholic. The real Bookaholic. Is that an award? Yeah, she does great stories, Prinny, I'm telling you. She really does. Oh, I like her. Like her. I like Ty. She's a good friend too. She talks to you. She'll talk to you about the in and outs of, how to grow your YouTube channel and what the monetization's like and how they don't really pay you very good. It's better to get sponsors. Hey, hey, Amanda. Hey, Cardan. Thanks, pretty. I need somebody that actually likes me and will hang out with me the whole night. I know everybody's busy as sellers and they have work schedules and stuff, and it's like, I need a mod to just sit and put up with me. They can even mute me if they don't want to listen to me. Just hang out. Faithful members, this is the doctrines and duties of the Christian faith. This is another good book for people that want tips on community. And this is from 1988. And that's pretty much what it is. The people of God, one true, holy, and living God, Jesus Christ, good news, Savior, Liberator, Book of Books. Free gifts for the household of faith, the church at work, and living the Christian life. So this is a nice handbook for people. Oh my goodness. What was wrong? Did he have COVID or something? I know a few people has been having COVID on here. All right, Brandon, you take a rest. You take care. Oh no. That's terrible. My hubby shocked me this week. He shocked me pretty. I can't wait till my wallet comes in. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm in both places. I had to tell Brandon by I know I look like I'm talking to myself. My invisible friend over here named Brandon. Brandon's got a puppet and he's my invisible friend I talk to. So this one here, yeah, he did. He bought me my Christmas present early. If they come over here, I have one gamer that tells me all the time, you got a bunch of books that I want, Vin, and I can't, well, come to Whatnot. Get over here and buy it. But he hasn't been here yet, so I don't know what to tell him. I said, the app's free, download it. So they said they need to get their butts over here. I think they just like hearing me read to go to sleep or something. Knowing Your Church. Contributors are Arla Morvest, Bill George, Joe Bird, David G. Roebuck, and edited by Homer G. Rhea. So I just put it by Homer G. Rhea because I can't fit all that in the space on Whatnot. So this is what the book looks like. Little piece of paper sticking up. It is from 1995. And it's all about the inner works of church. Knowing Your Church introduction, Church of the God History, Part 1, 2, and 3, General Assembly Organization and Functions, State and District Organization, International Offices, the local church and its ministry structures, education and training, everything to do with the setup of a church. Hey, Davidson. Oh, Prinny, I have the typical week. I'm either making somebody happy, pissing somebody off, or something. That's my typical week this week. Oh my goodness. When is the worst of it supposed to hit you over there, Prinny? That's crazy. 3 a.m. and noon. Is it supposed to hit in the Pensacola area? Are you close to Pensacola? See, that's where my father-in-law is at. I don't know if my hubby's been in touch with his dad or not. I'll have to ask him when he gets home from work. This one here is a nice hardback called The Darkness and Dawn by Charles Swindoll. This is the last of the set of biblical type of books that I have. This was written in 2001. He actually looks like a pastor type. He looks like a good man. He's got a good smile. Yeah, that's what I would. Yep, she is. She's down in Florida. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. 400 miles wide. Holy crap. We've been watching the weather station some. Batten down the hatches, Prinny. Stay safe. This says, our Lord Jesus died in the most hideous death imaginable. Charles Swindoll takes us back through the gospel records of those hard days leading up to Calvary, helping us to feel anew with the somberness of the Last Supper, the anguish. It's all the steps. He is the first, foremost persuasive spokesman for Christ between the illuminating bits of technical and historical information. He tucks passionate pleas for those whose lives are mirrored in darkness to reach out to trust the only one who can bring us to the light. He says we're dealing here with a mixture of vital things that makes a difference. Taken seriously, they can transform your thinking and alter your destiny. The premise of this book is a bedrock of reality that's suffering brings us to the grace of God. Through pain and illness, through mistreatments and unfairness, great character emerges. Well, when will mine emerge? My character never emerges. I just stay grumpy. Okay, I gotta stop joking because this is crazy. When we contemplate the cross, the resurrection together, as Dr. Stone does in this book, and we see clearly that the path through the darkness can lead us to dawn. I stay grumpy. I stay grumpy. Okay, so we'll run this, and this is the last of the biblical in this set. And then I can gab some more. Let's see. Ooh, he studied meteorology. That is so cool. Oh my goodness, that's crazy, Prinny. Prinny, you're so funny. Hey, Golden Good. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I know. I can't even imagine, though. That is flipping high. To go to the stop of streetlights, that's crazy. I've never lived near a body of water. I stay away. I don't know what it is, but beaches are fun to visit, but they're just not my favorite thing. The only thing I like is cabins by a small lake. I don't do ocean surges. I would be scared in some of them places down there for alligators to come up. Devin said. The closest water to me is the Ohio River. My grandmother told me back in the day you could walk across the Ohio River. Can't do that now though. Oh my gosh, Brittany. That's awful. I don't want no gator in my backyard. We're getting these beetles that are starting to here. They migrated here, and apparently they leave a sticky source on your trees and they draw bees. Oh, what the heck are they called? I showed it in my last live. I took a picture on one of my trees. This thing was huge. My husband's like, was it the queen? I go, I don't know, but it fit like in the palm of my hand. Look how big this beetle is. That's a close up of my tree trunk. That's my tree. It's sick. I've been treating. This is what it still looks like, even back from the tree. It was a big bug. So I Google lensed it because that's me. I'm always outside Google lensing something. And let me see where I print screened it. Where's my screenshot? Can't find my screenshot of it. I screenshot what it's called. Hold on. Let me find it. Where are you at, you little booger? Come on, Google Lens. Why do you get to be mean? I know I have it on here. But they just started appearing, and I've been seeing people on Facebook, in a town down from us. It's called the invasive lanternfly. It says kill it when you see it. But I didn't. But they spray some kind of sticky stuff that draws bees, and they're terrible for killing anything that makes food, like trees that make fruit and stuff like that. I thought that's all we need is another freaking bug. It says spotted lanternflies don't kill trees directly. They feed on the sap of more than 70 plant species, causing the plants stress that can make them more vulnerable to disease. The insects also excrete a sticky honeydew, attracting mold that can interfere with the photosynthesis. Isn't that terrible? And it also lures bees. And I'm thinking, great. I've been watching my tree, but my tree's already sick. So I dare that fly to eat, or that whatever that bug is, to eat mine, because my tree will probably kill it. Hey, rebel hippie. And because I've been treating it every fall, I bought this, it's like a copper spray. Devin said, you're so funny. Ew. This is why I live where winter hurts my face or something. That's so funny. Aw, thank you for the tip. That's so sweet. Thanks, Prinny. That's hysterical. But yeah, our tree, when I took pictures of my tree, our tree used to be where our old property is. And it had been mined, the old property. So we had it excavated when we moved to our new house, because we planted that tree when my daughter was born in 1990. So we brought it up here, and something down on the other property, I don't know if it's because it was mined down there or what, caused my tree to be sick. So we brought it up here and replanted it, hoping, to that it would, spring back to life. So I went over the tree and they say to diagonally cut off the branches that are kind of deadish. And we did all that. It still loses its stuff and still blooms, through fall, and it still blooms the next season. But let me see if I can find the picture of before and after to show you what the tree looked like. I mean, because it was bad. I sent it to my mom, and then I've been trying to get a hold of a tree specialist. And I couldn't get any answers. Like, I've sent emails to people and stuff. Let me see if I can find this real quick, because I wanted to show you the pictures. Of the before and after. And I couldn't believe the difference, because I Googled, different stuff to treat it with. And on different nights, you get a different answer every single time. So this is what my tree looked like. I found the pictures so you guys could see this. Look how bad this tree was. It had this fungus growing on it. And I was like, ew. So I went and found this stuff, and then look at the after. You had to treat it. Look how nice that cleaned up. But it's coming back a little bit again, and I'm trying to save it. So the stuff that I ordered was off of Amazon, and this is what it's called. It's called copper fungal killing stuff, but you can only treat in the fall time. You got to wait till the leaves go off, and I think every 14 days I would take my dog out and walk her, and I would spray the whole tree down. And I mean, that is a big difference. When you look at the before and how bad it was, try to focus it, and then how much healthier it got through treatment, and it bloomed a little better this year. But that's where I saw the bug crawling up, and I'm thinking, go ahead and eat that one. You're going to die because it's just the one that's got the fungus on it. But I'm going to treat it again this fall. But it bloomed really nice this year. And I do try to save my stuff. Alrighty. Well, you have sweet dreams. I hope you guys make it through everything. It's horrible. But keep me posted as long as you have electric. Send me a message. I gave you spooky stories to listen to. Hey, Jazz. Hey, Dandruff. Hey, CKG Nurse. Welcome back. Okay. So now that we're done with the religious again, the next pile of books we are going to hit after religion is we are going back to action and suspense books again. So let me put the religious out of the way. Gotta put these over beside me. Put this over here. Okay, so the next book we have is called The Guardian. And this is by Angus Wells. It says, a reluctant soldier, a spoiled princess, a recipe for destiny or disaster. It's kind of fair with some speckles on it. 1998 copyright. Aided by the dark magic of an evil sorcerer, a merciless army seeks to conquer the peaceful province of Chaldor. After Chaldor's king meets his death in battle, his queen urges the region's fiercest warrior, Gaylord the Highlander, to carry out one final mission. She asks, and Gaylord consents to protect the royal daughter, Princess Ellen, until she's old enough to gain hereditary powers and win back her father's kingdom. But Gaylord knows the enemy is closing in. In desperation, he turns to Shara, an enigmatic sorceress and the only one with the power to help the pair survive. Shara vows to lead the Gaylord and Ellen to their destiny, but will it be one of triumph or destruction? So that is the first one in this set of action suspense. Hello, Q. How are you? Well, that's good to hear. What have you been up to? Did you have a good weekend? Did you have a good weekend? Well, that's good. Did you do anything fun? The next book we have is Ready to Die by Lisa Jackson. Let's get a cool cover. Ready or not, here he comes. It's in good shape. It is a 2013. Nothing, his blood quickens as he stares at the photograph. Six faces, all guilty. The detectives Reagan Pascoli and Selena Alvarez are at the top of his list. One by one, he'll stalk them. Then he'll squeeze the trigger, savoring the way each lifeless body crumbles to the reddening snow. One down already, and there three, then three were five. Can prepare you. Sheriff Dan Grayson lies near death after shooting, and the police department of Grizzly Falls, Montana, is in shock. Alvarez, torn between a new relationship and her loyalty to Grayson, works with Pascoli to whittle down the list of suspects. The deeper they go, the more personal and dangerous the case becomes. Then a prominent judge's body is found, and the killer sends a sinister warning to the press. Who's next? To face a killer. Pascoli isn't waiting to find out. Headstrong and eager for justice, she'll track the scant clues on her own if she has to, but her search leads her straight to a monster who has had her in his sights all along, and when the hunter meets prey, both must be willing to kill and ready to die. So if you like action and suspense. You went to a Dodgers game. Well, that sounds like fun. One thing I would like to see is a live hockey game. I think a live hockey game would be fun to see. The next action and suspense is The Killing Hands by P.D. Martin. It's got a little bit of stain right there, like maybe water or something got on it a little bit just on this part of it. And it is from 2009. Rest of it's in good condition though. It says, just as Aussie FBI profiler Sophie Anderson is settling into her job in the LA bureau, she's pulled into a case that's different from any she's ever seen. The victim has had his throat ripped out, but the weapon could have caused such a devastating injuries. And who is the John Doe? What weapon? Sophie and her team are dealing with a skilled killer, someone who leaves virtually no forensic evidence. When the team links the body to an Asian criminal organization, things get even more mysterious. The victim has been missing for 15 years, so where has he been and why has he returned? More important, who wanted him dead? As the LA's underworld rears its ugly head, Sophie will have to draw on her experience and her developing psychic skills to find a brilliant killer who's carved a trail of death and organized crime across the U.S. He leaves only one thing behind: horrifying murder scenes. Gruesome. Well, hello there. Hey, hello, Cece. Hey, Bridget. Welcome, welcome. If there's anything you'd like to see in the auction, please feel free to let me know. And if there's anything that you want to collect and are looking for, let me know. I have a list and I can tag people. So the next book we have is Leopards Kill by Jim D. Feliz. It's got a little bit of stains right there. It is a 2007 book. The rest of it's in good condition. Former U.S. Army Special Forces soldier Jack Pilgrim has it all. Big bucks, a successful security business, and a beautiful wife. Until his partner, Merce Conrad, goes missing in Afghanistan with $2 million in government cash. The CIA threatens to throw Jack in jail if he doesn't find his partner and return the money. Descending deeper into a Dantesque hell with every step, Jack follows Merck's trail to the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan. The further Jack goes, the larger the legend of Merck Conrad becomes, and the greater the danger grows. With insurgent attacks and terrorist cells around every corner, Jack's odyssey into the Afghan heart of darkness is no longer just about the money. Jack desperately needs to find Mark to save his own life. So there is that book. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hey, Jillian. Hey, Robbie. Hey, Irene. Welcome, welcome. I know my chat was disconnected over here. What? Okay. Next we have this is called Orion by Ben Bova. It's got some writing in it. Definitely aged. This is from 1985. The hunter, protector of mankind, John Orion's not a good man, not exactly. He's an eternal warrior destined to combat the Dark Lord through all time for domination of the earth. Follow him, servant of a great race, as he battles his enemy down the halls of fame, from the caves of our ancestors to the final confrontation or the hammer of nuclear annihilation. So there you go. You got Orion. I don't know. My text disappeared on here. I don't know. Sometimes I see people come in and sometimes I don't. What not glitches? See all these people join at once and some don't show up on my phone. It's weird. Very weird. Okay, so the next book, this looks chilling. I almost kept and read this one. Look how creepy this is. This is like perfect for Halloween. You. It's called The Chill by Ross McDonald. It's got a little bend in the cover. It's got a little discoloration from age. It's got some writing in the back. It's from 1983, but the story is there. It's called The Chill. Archer knew he shouldn't have taken the case, but Alex Kincaid seemed so desperate. Kincaid's loving new bride, Dolly, had just inexplicably walked out on him, leaving Kincaid more than a little fearful of her sanity and her safety. So Archer reluctantly agreed to help Kincaid find his way, but what he found instead was enough to send a chill down anyone's spine. A fresh new corpse and evidence linking Dolly not only to this murder, but to a series of others dating back to before she was even born. Ew. That icky spider. Hey, Frugal Shelly, welcome back. Could never tell who's in here. Hey, CDC. How come you don't visit me on Whatnot? Get over here so you can talk to me and mod for me. You can leave your name hanging here and just mod for me over here, CDC. Get over here. So the next book we have, I got a creepy spider for you. Look at this creepy spider. CDC. It's creepy. Okay. This is called Star Cruiser Shenandoah, number 2, Division of the Spoils by Roland J. Green. Let's get some dark edges to it. Little bend right here. It's from 1990. And it says, Rebel Strike. Both Federation and Alliance forces have had considered the resolution of the conflict on Victoria a diplomatic triumph. But now an unknown force struck a double blow, taking out an Alliance cruiser and then bringing down the ship with a Federation battle cruiser. Shenandoah set out to investigate the disaster, while Federation, Republic, and Alliance forces quickly zeroed in to prevent a three-way confrontation. A rebel army struck the first devastating blow in a campaign to overthrow the Republic government. Suddenly, a world at peace was transformed into a planet on the brink of destruction, and the Shadows was a manipulating alien enemy out to overturn the balance of power between the Federation and the Alliance. So there you go. Hey, Night Nurse. Hey, the Dusty Treasure Chest. Hey, now, Cancer. Welcome, welcome. Next book we have, let's see here. This one is another one. I don't know where Yep Yep is. He was collecting these books. This is the Dragonlance Chronicles, Volume 3, Dragons of Spring Dawning by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. It's definitely been well loved. It's soft, like real soft. This is from 1985. Dragons, creatures of legend, story told to children, but now the dragons have returned to Kryn. The darkness of war and destruction engulfs the land. Hope dawns with the coming of spring. Armed at last with the dragon lances, and heroes led the people in the final desperate battle against the dragons. Knight and barbarian, warrior and half-elf, dwarf and kender, and dark-souled mage. They must overcome their own doubts and resolve their own conflicts before they can hope to defeat Takhisses, the Queen of Darkness. So there is this one. Gooey! Big Feet! Rebel! Welcome in! Did you find somebody, Gooey? I hope. I put the word out. Everybody was bombarding me with messages. I was trying to load the rest of my books, talk to you, and swindle everything over. Yay! There's always somebody on here looking for that. Did they help you out? That's one thing I don't own anything of yet is Chanel. I own absolutely nothing in Chanel, except a book. Half in and half out. Nice. Good job. Loud TV. I'm glad that there's people that help each other out on here. That's awesome. That you can reach out to somebody and find somebody. I love it, love it, love it. We got like a good setup. So the next book I have is this one here is called Deep Core. It's by James A. Adair, an explosive novel of military combat, the first undersea base, America's last defense. This is what the book looks like. It's got some dark edges. It is from 1991. The Art of Technology, the Future of War. Post-track MTI, a fully integrated spy system that tracks vessels above and below the sea. This top-secret military project could neutralize the threat of a submarine-launched missiles and tilt the balance of world power in America's favor. Far below the surface of the stormy Pacific is guarded by Bob Moore and the security team of Deep Core, but someone has discovered their secret. A high-tech naval force of devastating dimensions has sabotaged the facility. Their mission is simple and staggering. The first-scale undersea battle of World War III, called Deep Core. I'm taking a break from selling for the month coming up. So I'm not going to be here on lives. I'll just be probably posting in the marketplace for a bit because I got some stuff I got to take care of for the holidays. Alrighty. Thank you. Hey, Urel and Justin. Justin Abel. Yeah, I got busy. I'm busy too. Life is busy, 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 especially around the holiday times. Okay, so the next book we have is the last one in this set of action suspense, which is Mars by Ben Bova. Look how cool that is. I like that color blue. It's like a metallic blue. So it's got some aging to it. Got some dark edges. It's from 1993. It is a world shrouded in mystery, a planet pocked by meteors, baked by ultraviolet light, and covered by endless deserts, the color of dried blood. To this harsh and unforgiving planet travel the 25 astronauts of the International Mars mission. Now, as the landers touch down and the base dome is inflated and the robotic explorers are sent aloft, they must somehow come together in a struggle of discovery and survival. Battling deadly meteor showers, sub-zero temperatures, and a mysterious Mars virus, these intrepid explorers are on their way to the most incredible and shocking discovery of all. So that's this one. Alrighty, take care of your kids. Kitty's gonna come first. Look over here. I still see CDC over here. Hold on, I'll be right back on my phone. I have to refresh the app. Every so often, for some reason, it just kind of like quits showing me who's coming in. I see numbers change, but I don't see anybody coming in. There. Okay, now we're going to go into the last set of romance books that I have over here. Let me put these back over here. We'll start in the last set of romance books. Like, you guys like listen to me talk with these romance people. I actually like the action suspense books myself. Okay. This was called Queen Bee of Mimosa Branch by Haywood Smith. This is a 2003 copyright. Fuzz. Linwood B. Love, Scott's life has officially hit rock bottom. Her husband of 30 years has run off with a stripper, and the IRS has taken everything but her coffee table. And her hot flashes are for alarmers. The only thing that could make being flat broke and 50 any worse is to crawl home to her parents' house in Mimosa Branch, Georgia, which is exactly where she's headed. Lynn barely prepared for the loony bin that greets her from her controlling 80-year-old mother and shockingly blunt father to her long-suffering Aunt Glory and her deranged Uncle Bedford, who is convinced a cannibal lives under the furniture. Sounds like a funny book. Nor is she ready for the instant love-hate attraction she feels for her handsome new next-door neighbor, trying to navigate her way through the second act of life, but nothing more than a prepaid calling card, a broken heart, and plenty of Prozac. Lynn's about to discover that it's never too late for old friends, new romance, the ties of family, and a second chance to survive it all on the road to becoming the person you were always meant to be. That actually sounds hysterical. That's the first time I read the back of it. Sounds like a crazy life. What a life. What a life. I'm getting hungry. Hey, KH. I hope you're having a good evening. So, the next book we have after this funny one, this one actually has two other books that goes with it. I don't know where the other two are, if I even have them. If I find them in boxings, though, I'll put them together. This is One Red Rose by Julie Garwood. Looks like a cute read. It's a little aged. It's 1997. First introduced into Julie Garwood's magnificent New York Times bestseller, The Roses, which inspired the Hall of Fame television film Rose Hill. Oh, how interesting. The Claiborne brothers of Blue Bell, Montana have embraced by millions of worldwide. Now Julie Garwood spins the individual stories of these three-spirited brothers. Once a mismatched gang of street urchins and a trio of special novels that continues with One Red Rose. Adam Claiborne has always put great stock in the power of books. As an escaped slave and wanted man, reading has been his only ticket to the wonders of distant lands. Adam is content with his life as a confirmed bachelor, which is why his Mama Rose has summoned the irresistible Geneva Delacroix to Montana. Also a former slave, Geneva shares his dream of seeing the world, but she arrives to find Adam unfailingly polite and just as distant. Undaunted, Genevieve determines to teach Adam that he'll never learn from a book, that true freedom only comes when you open your heart. That sounds like actually a good read. I bet you the other two books are good too. Hey, Frugal Shelly, welcome back. Who do we have over here? Still CDC is the last one who typed. Oh, I just stretch my leg out. My foot's stuck on my cord. One of those days. One of those days. Ooh. Okay. So the next book we have. This one is called Gifts by Joanne Power. That's such a pretty cover. Definitely loved and little aged. It's got 1996 on it. A young girl's tragedy brought them together. A headmistress of the Farrell School for Young Ladies, Jessica Layton Curtis, had buried her demons by devoting herself to her work. Until what its students play touches her personally, she sees glimmers of herself in Amanda Emery, a gifted young pianist, despondent since a devastating riding accident. In an effort to reach her, Jeff implores Randall Templeton, Marquis of Ashford, to share his musical gifts and help heal Amanda. But Jess has never met a man as generous as Rand, a man who poses a threat yet offers a promise. Dark secrets kept them apart. Randall Templeton agrees to see Amanda becoming nearer and dearer to Jessica herself, and unpleasing the terrors locked in her shattered soul. Yet even as Jess yields to the intense desire, her memories whisper that she must not care for him, but Rand's gifts of trust and soulful love may be enough to help her bring her past to light. So there is that book, and we shall run it. Welcome in. Hey, Real McCoy. What not is very busy tonight. Very, very busy. This is going to fall. I know it is. Oh, oh, oh. My books. Get a fix. Get a fix. There. Okay. So the next book we have going down the list. Okay, we have this one called Summer Storm by Catherine Hart. Nice, thick romance from 1987. It says, Summer Storm, she was as soft and warm as a summer rain, as tempestuous, as unpredictable as a thunderstorm over the desert. Wind Rider, he was destined to lead his people as a warrior chief and to tame the woman named Summer Storm, though she had given her heart to another. He viewed their tumultuous joining would be climaxed into a whirlwind of ecstasy. So there is that romance book. I'm going to take me a drink of tea because I'm thirsty. Alrighty. So next we have The Unwilling Conquest by Stephanie Lawrence. It is from 1996. I have to write the date in this on this one. And this says, a successful horse breeder and self-proclaimed rake, Harry Lester samples women like wine, but after having his heart trampled by someone he actually loved, he has no intention of falling for a woman again, let alone being ensnared by a trap of marriage. Now, with a large inheritance to his name, Harry knows that he'd best start running from London's matchmaking mothers and widows. Harry heads for the racing town of Newmarket only to encounter Mrs. Lucinda Babacombe, a beautiful, independent widow, and before he knows it, Harry vows to protect Lucinda from the town full of lonely gambling men. Despite her refusal to accept his countless offers of help, Lucinda is extraordinary, an intelligent, tender woman, but will Harry let himself be taken prisoner in the most passionate of traps? Hey Shay, welcome, welcome. So there is that romance book. Are you having a good evening? I've been keeping up watching about what's going on in Florida. I just hope everybody stays safe. One of my mods is from down there and she said that they're just preparing for the surges. It's crazy. So sad. I don't ever want to live near a body of water. I'm too afraid to. The next book I have is called Lucifer's Angel, of all things, by Violet Windspirit. And this is definitely old because this is like, it's called Collection 1 and it's only book 1. Look at that art. Look at that. It's definitely an old one. Whoever had it, though, took pretty good care of it. 1976. It says Faye had worked desperately in the train crash, using all her nurse's knowledge to save Lou's life. What could she possibly now do now to save their marriage? Did she and Lou, despite all their vital differences, really have a future together? What a title. Lucifer's Angel. Hey souls, welcome in. Hey Michael. Oh, that would be interesting. We had another teacher in her earlier, Mrs. Crabtree. And I think it's funny because we had a Mrs. Crabtree here that my kids had. I bet you that was an interesting experience for the kids. And another thing too, it's nice to start teaching them at a young age, like what to do in case of emergencies, like how to prepare. I had some great teachers through my life. I was very blessed with some really good teachers. The next book I have is called The Doctor's Daughter by Judith Bowen. It's a Harlequin super romance. It's got a little bit of scribble on the front. It's definitely aged, used book. It's got some spots from 1999. Virginia Lake left town more than a decade ago after a memorable night with a man her parents forbade her to see. Lucas Yellowfly, they said, was a troublemaker, off limits, half Native American, and from the wrong side of town. He wasn't good enough for Doctor and Mrs. Lake, but now everything's changed. Now Lucas is a successful lawyer in glory, practically a pillar of society. And now Virginia is back, a single mother with a 5-year-old son. She's looking for a job, and Lucas finds he needs someone with exactly her qualifications because he's always been half in love with the doctor's daughter. He's finally got the chance to convince her that this man from glory will make a good husband and a good father. Her reasons for marrying him maybe have more to do with the need than with love, but can things change? But things can change. Who knows better than Lucas Yellowfly? What a cute last name that would be. Yellowfly. Oh, I bet. Hey, Lou Big Fish. My mod that's usually in here, she's from down there, and she said that one time the surges got so high they were higher than the street lights. I can't even imagine. And that they had an alligator one time on their beach. Ooh, I couldn't handle it. I'd be like, no, I don't want to see an alligator in my backyard. Worst we see is just flying bugs. I know, that's what I said. That would be horrible. Very, very horrible. The next book I have in the last two of my romance, or no, there's three of this romance set, is Passionate Involvement by Lillian Peake. Definitely an older 1977. Harlequin Presents. Definitely get some stainage on it. You can tell it's definitely used. Cling to the Italian in me, Same said, and he meant it. Steer clear of my English side. That was the side of him Tamsin didn't know. That Same never revealed. Inexplicably, she felt snubbed, as if somehow she'd been shut out, and yet if Same, is it Saint Sarn, put on dark glasses where everything other than his holiday self was concerned, wasn't she in fact doing the same? Well, she'd been warned, and she'd take heed from now on. We were talking about earlier, you missed the punishments kids went through. Hey, Kristen. All right, you take care too. Thanks for stopping. I have a daughter named Kristen. She needs to come visit me on here. And then the next book I have in the romance section is called Magic Symphony by Eleanor Farnes. Come on, focus. Oh, you are going to be awful. This is 1976. No one suspected Erica's heartbreak at having to put aside her musical training and career to take over the family affairs. Only when the conductor, Charles Winlake, aware of Erica's talent, brought her back into the world of music did she fully realize what she'd missed. Then she began to wonder if Charles would have a permanent place in this bright new world. So there's this one. I thought I had it pulled up. I guess I don't. Clear down to the bottom. And we will run it. Run, run. Hey, Gal Sammy and Lee and Robbie. I don't know what's going on with YouTube either. What did that say? Chat disconnected. Please wait. And then it reconnected. Okay, that's weird. I'm going to have to look for a new laptop or something over here. Ugh, it's not what I meant to do. My phone. Okay. So we're going to go back over here. To the last book in the romance section, which is called The Honey is Bitter, A Harlequin Presents by Violet Winspear. Violet Winspear. Get these old ads that they had. 1980. Keep your love, did I ever ask for it? Paul's voice rang out. His face was a taut sculpture chiseled out of stone, as she felt certain his heart was. No, Dominique threw at him, but you're not quite so inhuman as to enjoy for a very long time the companionship of a wife who hates you. She couldn't weep. Tears had set like ice on her, and the sweetness of the day had turned into bitterness. The rings on her hands felt heavy, like manacles, she told herself, shackles that bound her to a man who had forced her into a loveless disaster of a marriage. So that is The Last Romance. Welcome back, CKG. Hey, Momar. Welcome, welcome. If there's anything you want to see, please feel free to let me know in the auction and I will show it to you. And welcome back. What's that say? A poet something? Why can't I see you on my phone? It's so weird. One, it looks like it has the ostrich face. I don't know why it does that. That is so weird. Let me see. Come in here. I wonder if this will fix it. I don't know. Hmm. All the text after disappeared. That is so bizarre. Strange. Very strange. Okay. So we will put these back. We are going to do a last call. And since nobody is in here, we are going to end the show. I don't have anybody to do a raid. The raid would be fun. Hey, Funko Pop Ohana. Thank you so much for stopping. You're so sweet. Let's just get ready to end my live, but I'm glad you got to stop by. It's good to see you.